Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free live streaming app on Google Play and the Apple App Store. As always, a huge shout out to the team, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you guys. And to our special advisory committee that can be found at www.sbbrtalk.com/advisory committee. Visit the link and check out the work being done by the leaders of our region. Okay, everybody, today I have the distinct honor to introduce Bel Hernandez Castillo. She is an entrepreneur, award-winning journalist, and producer. She is the co-founder and CEO of Latin Heat, the first entertainment trade publication focused on the coverage of Latinos in Hollywood. For 6 years, she produced the Latin Heat Entertainment Conference, bringing together Latino creatives and studio and network executives. Movie Maker magazine dubbed her the godmother of Latino Hollywood at that time. She now heads the Latin Heat Media, a multimedia company that includes an entertainment site, www.latinheat.com, a production arm that includes the Telly award-winning TV talk show, TheTRENDTalk, and several films and stage productions, and Latina Fest, Mind, Body, and Soul, the largest outdoor festival on the West Coast celebrating Latinas. Always ahead of the curve when it comes to Latinos in media, Hernandez Castillo created and executive produced her first Latina talk show in 2009. Let's Talk gave Latinas the first platform on an English language talk show to have their say. Picked up by CBS2 and KCAL9, the name changed to HOLA LA, where it aired for 3 years. In 2017, Hernandez Castillo created and independently executive produced the Telly Award and Omni Award-winning talk show, TheTRENDTalk. Also, one of the authors in the award-winning anthology, 8 Ways to Say I Love My Life. A book was adapted into a theatrical production produced by Hernandez and went on to win an Imagen Award for Best Theatrical Presentation. Hernandez Castillo served for 6 years on the prestigious Peabody Awards Board and has received numerous awards for her contribution to the entertainment community. She has been recognized for her journalist endeavors by the Los Angeles Times, Influential Women, Hispanic Public Relations Association, Latina Style Magazine, La Opinión, National Hispanic Media Coalition, City of Los Angeles, National Hispanic Health Foundation, the Art Center in Los Angeles, and the ALMA Award from the National Council of La Raza, now UNIDOS US, for her contributions to the entertainment community. In 2021, she served on the credentialing committee of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, producers of the Golden Globes, and was honored with the Farm Worker Justice Dolores Huerta Award. She currently sits on the advisory board of the Mexican American Cultural Education Foundation and is the chair of the Arts and Entertainment of the Hispanic Coalition of Small Business. She is most proud to be the mother of 3 children, Sol, Alma Castillo, Karina Noel, and Nana to Amanda and Keen Castillo and Jack Castillo Day. Most of all, she is proud to be married to actor-director Enrique Castillo for 40 years. Thank you so much for being with us today, Bel.
Thank you so much. What a great job you did on that. That's a long piece of information there. But thank you so much. You did a great job.
Well, thank you. Well, that's a testament to the work that you've done and probably the reason why you were dubbed the godmother of Latino entertainment.
Thank you. It was such an honor, and it was a while back, and definitely we can say that Latinos in the entertainment are now more than there were at that time. So definitely they needed a godmother then, a lot more of it today.
Terrific. So as you know, one of the first questions I ask all of my guests is to please talk about what inspired you to pursue a career in media and publishing and producing and now, having these wonderful theatrical productions.
Actually, what inspired me was I was very conscious when I was going to high school that I didn't have anyone I could look up to as a professional. I always looked up to my mom, but as a professional, or I had no clue of where I was going. The school didn't really have a good path to getting kids in high school to college. So what happened was I was in high school and there was the folklorico group that came. And I've always considered myself more Mexican than American because I was born in Mexico. So when I saw the folklorico, I said, wow, this is me. That was the first time that I actually felt that I belonged to something, and it was to being Mexican. So that's how it started. I started by doing folklorico, and then from there I went to Mexico also doing folklorico, and that has led me in very different sections of my life to come to where I am now, which is I'm a head of a media company called Latin Heat Media, and producer, and also a host for television shows. But I started off in folklorico, and I identified with that because before that there was no one on TV that looked like me, and I just found myself through dance.
Oh, I love that. You're bringing back my memories of folklorico dance as well, with the long, beautiful dresses and just the music. It's just beautiful memories. So, Bel, talk about Latin Heat Media, the print production, where it started and where it is today.
It started with a group of actresses that were protesting. Well, I was part of the Chicano movement in high school, and it carried on over to the rest of my life because what I learned from the Chicano movement was that I could speak up and I could make a difference. And so when I started acting, we actresses were not getting nearly any kind of roles as Latina actresses are now, because at that time the roles were so far and few in between. So then there was this role for Frida Kahlo, and two of us, two Latina actresses, and none of them in our group got to audition. And they said, nope, there's no Latinas that can do the role. So they gave it to a non-Latina, and we were very upset. So we started a protest. We held a demonstration. We all dressed up like Frida, and we all, demonstrated against the fact that this wasn't right. We didn't even get the chance to audition. Well, that started us thinking, why do they think that we don't exist? And we realized that no one was covering us. We couldn't get into the trades. I mean, at that point, only the big stars, and there was not that many Latino stars. But we realized that it was a lack of information that they would dare to say there is no one. And we all decided, let's start a publication and, to keep them informed. So it was a group effort of actors, mostly Latinas and some Latino actors. And from there, we decided that we just kept going with this because we needed to not only give them information, but we needed to give our talent the platform to shine, especially when they were working, because that's how you make stars. People need to talk about you, and people need to read about you, and people need to see you out there so that they know, oh, I've seen that, and I've seen that movie, and they're great. So that's what we were lacking. We were lacking any coverage whatsoever.
So please talk about why sharing the story of Latinos is so important.
Because of me. I mean, I use myself as an example. When you don't know what opportunities are out there, you don't take advantage of them. For instance, I didn't know when I was going to high school that I could actually go to school to study to be a dancer. And so no one told me that I could go to a junior college. No one told me that I could go to a four-year college as a dance major. And because I was born in Mexico, so I'm not even first generation, but my mom comes from Mexico, from a rural town. She doesn't know any of this. So who's going to tell us? We needed someone to tell us, you can do this. You can go to college. You want to dance? You like to dance? You can have a career in that. So it's important for us to talk about this, to talk about how it was growing up, to talk about opportunities, to talk about and let young kids know you could do whatever you want. And that's why it's important for me to keep talking about it. And I've been doing that since I was in high school up to now.
Wow, that is tremendous. And I can tell you, I shared the same experience as a first generation here, Latina, and having that, cultural disparity and the lack of connection to how to navigate the educational system and not knowing, like you said, that there are these programs that exist and possibly even with scholarships on top of it, right? And that's the kicker. And that's why it's, like you said, it is so important to connect those communities with those resources and programs to show them the pathway towards, fully establishing and developing their potential and their dreams. So with your work, Bel, what is the transformation you have seen today through your efforts?
It's been amazing. What happened with Latin Heat, because it was so new, is that a lot of people just drank it up when they saw it. I now meet professionals, professional directors, professional executives, and actors who tell me that they were in college and they saw Latin Heat, because I used to go everywhere with my magazines in hand, and that's how they got their first job. That's how they got their first connection. That's how they started in the business. And that really, really warms my heart, because you do things because you feel a passion to do it and you feel like this is the right thing to do. This is what I want to do. But when someone tells you that it helped them, that really is worthwhile. You understand that, okay, all that work, this is my reward, that I see people in this industry who are now doing things that maybe they wouldn't have if they hadn't read a Latin Heat magazine.
Wow. So as the godmother of Latina entertainment, if you could wave your wand, what is the narrative you would like to see across, a multitude of channels in the media today?
I would like to see so many different stories that are not getting greenlit. We're, some of the movies that have been with us since I've been in the industry, and over 50 years, even more, close to 100 years, are the negative stereotypes. And that's been the fight with our publication, with our group of actors that got together, because we weren't getting the roles. So it's been a fight to dissuade the stereotypes and understand and help the industry understand that that's not all we are. So if I had a wand, I would make sure that we connect with investors who want to do films about good films, good films about any story, any culture. And when you consider that we are the largest minority in the U.S., and we are like 5% represented on screen, that's a disparity. And it's not only that, for that reason, it's that we are the #1 consumer group. We earn a lot and spend a lot during the year, to the point of $3.2 trillion. So that if U.S. Latinos were a country, we would be the 5th largest company in the world. And so there's now a lot of information. There are now studies that different groups do, and that's been proven. It's not just something we say, it's a fact. It's been proven through these studies. And still, the disparity is not, there is no parity. So this is, if I had my wand, I would make sure that we connect the money to the storytellers. There are so many stories that haven't been seen because Hollywood's not been interested in our stories. But now you see a lot more Latinos doing their independent films. Now you see a lot more, not just independent, but now they're going towards studio films. But at the end of the day, it's just about having a seat at the table. We deserve that seat. We've worked hard for that seat. And I think that the way I've seen it change is that when I first started Latin Heat, people were asking, can I have a seat at the table? And what's happened now is that they're saying, if you don't give me a seat at the table, I'm going to make my own table. And I'm going to make my own movie, and I'm good. And it's been successful in several different occasions. So that now you have also one of the things that you have now, and this wasn't even a wand, this has just happened, is that there's a lot of there's a lot of Latinas, young and older, who are now in the business and started off, in a small way, and now have grown into these big mega stars. And one of the big examples that I give is Eva Longoria. She is now one of the persons that creates her own content. And yes, she still goes to the studios and networks, but what she does is she brings everyone along. She likes to hire Latinos because she came from there. She knows that the talent is there. So she is one that just embraces and helps everyone and lifts everyone up. Like her, there's others, there's America Ferrera, there's Zoe Saldana. There's several women who are understanding that when we lift each other up, we all gain because our stories are getting told. So, that's it's getting done. It's really, when I started, it's been like over 25 years, and now we're just seeing movement. And I really never thought that I would get to see the movement.
Oh my goodness, 25 years. I'm sure that's gone in the blink of an eye. But Bel, please share what your initial experiences in the media were when you were trying to bring that message out.
Well, the media, the hardest thing for me was that I needed money to support the publication, because I started off as an actress. I was an actress when I started my journalism career. And so I decided that I didn't know about business. So I just decided that this is what I wanted to do. I had an agent, and my agent would send me out, and I'm like, I'm not going to be an actress anymore. I have to do my Latin heat. And he's going, what are you doing? You're getting, like roles, and, they want to see you to audition. I'm like, no, I didn't want to go back to do another barrio mother, another drug addict, another prostitute role. So it's been something that has been fulfilling, and it's grown. The complications again that I faced as I started doing Latin Heat is the lack of funds. The passion was always there. We printed for 13 years, and it was always that, and then convincing the advertisers that we were then a media platform that they needed to invest. What I found, the good thing I found, was that we were covering a sector of Hollywood that no one really cared to cover. They didn't know. And because I was an actress, I knew all of the actors that were up and coming. I knew all of them. I mean, we gave our Latin Heat was Jennifer Lopez's first cover when she did Selena. Because when we started, she was just starting out. So what I did find was that we would scoop the Hollywood Reporter, but of course on a small scale. I mean, nobody really knew because we don't have the marketing dollars that they had. But, I'll tell you a story about Jay Hernandez, who right now is a big, superstar. He's on Magnum, right? He's a star of Magnum. Back then, he was like a 13-year-old kid whose manager would come to us and ask us, can we please cover him? Because the trades wouldn't cover him. The other Hollywood trades would not cover him. So we said, sure, we were always looking for people to cover that were Latinos. And so we covered him, and he came back to thank us because he said, I took the article you wrote and I went to Hollywood Reporter and I said, you want to know who he is? Look, they wrote him up here. And then he started getting more press. So that was what I think kind of kept me going, because I felt we were making a difference. And we knew the business because they didn't care about us. So we knew our Latino Hollywood business like no one could. And that's why when Movie Maker Magazine was doing an article, they had heard about our conference that we did every year. And they asked me, do you think you could put a panel together for us of the people that are doing things now? I was like, yes. And all of those people are still working in the industry now. So that's how that came to be. So it was a yin and a yang. You know, we always struggle with the finances, but it was the work that we were doing was so special and so needed. So I was happy with that.
I can only imagine, Bill. How does it feel? How knowing that your efforts basically spearheaded this path for Latino talent, which is basically at the tip of the iceberg of a $3.2 trillion in purchasing around the world, right? How does that make you feel, realizing that you are one of the trailblazers in this effort on this path?
You know, I can't even fathom that. But when you really stop and think, and when you say it, you realize, yes, you know, while it was happening, I wasn't aware of it. But it just does really make me proud that there are people that are working. There are people that learned through our magazine and our conference. We did an entertainment conference for 6 years. It was the Latin Heat Entertainment Conference. And we had the participation of all the studios and all the networks. They were on our panels. They supported us. They sponsored us. And out of that came so many filmmakers, because they even traveled from across the country to come to the conference. And I see them working now. I see them. They've got their movies. They have a wonderful career in the entertainment industry. So it makes me feel just proud. It's like being a mom and saying, "Oh, all these kiddies, you know, they went out and they did their thing, and they're thriving." That makes me happy.
Absolutely. So please talk about the shift that you have seen, today versus when you established the foundation for your efforts in the media.
The shift that I've seen, I think that, like I was saying before, more and more of us are realizing who we are and the power that we have. And we were told back then by the powers that be that our stories were not good, that we had to put Anglos in the lead roles because no one would buy someone, you know, that is in a lead role that was Latino. And we believed that. We literally believed that, and I would see it with filmmakers that would go out and pitch their films. I would see it with the way I experienced it as an actress, when they would say, "No, your accent's not deep enough. You know, you look too upscale. You look too pretty to be a Latina." You know, so I see that. That at that time we accepted what they said. We believed them when they said we weren't good. I think that the biggest difference now is that we understand who we are. We understand what we bring to this country, to this industry, and more of us are more confident in who we are. And so that if Hollywood tells us we're not good enough, or our movie, our story isn't good enough to be a film or a TV show, we don't believe them anymore, and we will try to just get it done. And also the other thing is that when I was coming up as an actress, you never spoke up about the industry because you didn't want them to blackball you. That's why it was unique when we spoke up about Frida, the movie that was being made, and we all protested. That was unique because you didn't do that, and a lot of actresses wouldn't do that. That's why you get like Raquel Welch saying, you know, not admitting that she was Latina. That's how you get a lot of actors and actors denying that they were Latinos, and it's not their fault. It is the fault of the industry. You know, you had to live to get along and not make any waves. So what I find now is that a lot of the actors, and case in point, John Leguizamo, a lot of the actresses that are now famous, that are now established, you know, established in this industry, they're not afraid to speak up anymore. They do it in a very, you know, it also depends on how you do it. They're very educated. They know about the industry, and they just speak up. This is not right. And I mean, this is John Leguizamo has had this going for him since he was started out in the industry. He's always spoken up about the lack of representation, and now he's making documentaries, and NBC, and they're paying him to do documentaries to talk about the disparity, to talk about why we need to be present, to talk about our importance. So that's the biggest difference, is that back then we believed Hollywood when they told us we weren't good. Now we don't believe, we know our worth. And to me, that's the biggest shift that I've seen.
All right, everybody, we're heading on a break. Yvette Walker with ABC News and Talk Southern California Business Report here today with Bel Hernandez Castillo, a prominent personality in the entertainment industry known as the godmother of Latino Hollywood. She is a successful entrepreneur, journalist, and producer who co-founded Latin Heat, the first entertainment trade publication to highlight Latinos in Hollywood. Bel has been recognized by her peers for her production accomplishments, including winning a Telly Award for TRENDTalk and producing a talk show called HOLA LA, which was aired on CBS2 and KCAL9. When we return.
Hi, I'm Dana Rademacher with MGR Property Management.
A lot of people wonder about the value that property management has for their property. Property management can include all property types, including residential, commercial, and HOA. It is valuable because property managers are experienced in what can happen at your property. We're aware of liabilities. We're able to do predictive and preventative maintenance. We know what is coming up with the changes in the weather, the seasons, how old certain aspects or different capital projects at your property are. We're able to best negotiate contract pricing, legalities with your tenants, and anything else that you may need to ensure that you're getting the full value of your property. If you're interested in speaking with the representative at MGR Property Management regarding your property management needs, you can visit our website at mgrrealestate.com, or you can call our number at area code 909-581-6600 to be connected with the representative.
Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily non-stop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Cal State San Bernardino is home to the only School of Entrepreneurship in California. With globally ranked degree programs, you can start your journey today to become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more and connect at entre.csusb.edu.
Hi, I'm San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. If you're looking to start an exciting career in law enforcement and make a difference in your community, we are hiring dispatchers, nurses, deputies, laterals, and many more. For a complete list of our jobs and more information, visit sheriffsjobs.com.
We are the Empire Strikers, the professional sports team of the Inland Empire. We are a fast-actioned and community-inspired pro indoor soccer team. Our mission is to inspire the Empire. Home games, community events, watch parties, and youth camps are all back. Professional indoor soccer is back. Join us and come watch the greatest show on turf at Toyota Arena or on Twitch. Visit www.theempirestrikers.com for more and any information.
The University of La Verne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in La Verne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of La Verne. go.laverne.edu.
Welcome back, everyone. Yvette Walker with ABC News and Talk Southern California Business Report here today with Bel Hernandez Castillo, a prominent personality in the entertainment industry known as the godmother of Latino Hollywood. She is a successful entrepreneur, journalist, and producer who co-founded Latin Heat, the first entertainment trade publication to highlight Latinos in Hollywood. Bel has been recognized by her peers for her production accomplishments, including winning a Telly Award for TRENDTalk and producing a talk show called HOLA LA, which was aired on CBS2 and KCAL9. Thank you again for being with us today, Bel.
Of course, a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. So prior to the break, we spoke about the beginnings of Latin Heat, what you experienced during the time you started the the platform and what you have observed today, what that shift looks like. And where we ended up was that you noted the transformation in the attitude of the Latino community entertainment industry in realizing that their stories do matter. Please continue.
Yes, and actually, it's a not just in the entertainment industry. I think we're all getting very smart to that, as consumers. But when I stopped printing the magazine, I was so sad. It just made me cry. I'm sure this happened across the country because printing just got so expensive. But when I went online, which I went online with my website, I learned that I could produce, and so I started producing. And then I think I've realized that I was a producer way back when I was a kid, because I used to produce like little festivals in my backyard, and I used to charge kids like a penny to come in and jump around, whatever. I don't even remember what I had them do, but I used to charge them. So I was a producer back then. And so now that I'm producing, I realize that was always in me, and I really do love producing. And I've produced both, short films. I've directed an industrial, and I've produced theatrical productions, and I love the trajectory that I've had, from starting as a folklorico dancer to an actress to a journalist to a producer. And one of the things that I find is that throughout all of that, there was one common denominator, and that is that it was always about representation. Everything that I've done has always been, we want to be represented. We deserve to be on the screen. We deserve to have a talk show where we can highlight people. We deserve to have great productions. We deserve to have our films produced. And so I am helping with my husband is an actor and a writer, and he has several scripts that are really wonderful. And I'm also helping him produce his award-winning theatrical production, which is called Veteranos: A Legacy of Valor. And it is about the Latinos in America's defense. In particular, it was about the four Latino Medal of Honor recipients, which is the highest award any military person can receive. It was like a musical, and it had dance, it had theatrics, it had visuals, it had music. So that he had won a lot of awards with that play, and so now we're bringing it back, hopefully this November, and we're working to bring it back and to give that gift back to the community, because that's something that will make them feel even prouder to be who they are.
Right. Please expand on that project. Sounds very exciting. What are some surprising aspects and contributions by the Latinos in U.S. military that people would be surprised to learn?
My husband is a history buff, and he knows so much, and he started looking into Latinos in the military. And he found that Latinos have been part of America's defense back to the American Revolution. There was groups of Latinos who gave money to George Washington to help fight the revolution, and he studies and he looks and he finds all these stories, and also that Latinos who win the Congressional Medal of Honor, per capita, it's more Latinos than any other group. For the size of their group that received this Medal of Honor. And he decided that he was going to do feature four of these veterans and Medal of Honors winners. And so it was a play that traveled across the country. It went to Washington, D.C., got a congressional reception, and Hilda Solis, who was the Congresswoman at that time, had already been supporting it from LA when she was a politician here. And so she's the one that hosted the reception. But it traveled across the country, and in El Paso, the stories that he told were of Roy Benavides from Vietnam War. There was Macario Garcia, there was David Barclay Cantu, and there was I think that's it. One more, I think. I don't recall the name, but one of them, which was the Macario Garcia, when they went to his state where he was born, they didn't know that they didn't know his story. And so after they saw the play, they erected a monument for him, and they would bring kids in to see the play. So the kids would come with their school and learn, and they were so blown away and touched that that's where they come from. They come from such a legacy of valor, which is the name of the production, Veteranos, a Legacy of Valor. So it won an Imagen Award as Best Theatrical Play for LA, and we want to bring it back. We're working to bring it back to hopefully this year, at the end of this year. And it's something that, again, when we talk about the difference between back then and now, and like I said, now we're more confident in who we are. It takes projects like this to make you proud. It takes projects like Selena to make you proud to be Latina. Projects like Mi Familia, projects like El Norte. So that's also the reason why arts and entertainment are so important, because it impacts people and it gives them pride, or it affects them in whatever way. The projects I mentioned, I believe, have given them all pride to say, wow, I want to be like Selena. I mean, nowadays, her legacy has lived on so long that now it doesn't matter that you're not Latino. Everybody loves Selena. Everybody knows her songs. They sing them on TikTok. So that's why we love telling our stories, because they're there and they haven't been seen. And so that is a Legacy of Valor, and that is the play that we're working on to bring back.
Right. I love that because, like you said, the days of showing and producing stories from the negative aspect of the culture are over, right? And I very much believe that people become who they say they are, right? And through this storytelling and being told that they are valiant, that they are worthy, that they are capable of even reaching the stars like we saw in A Million Miles Away, it just changes the trajectory of a life, right? Because it tells them who they can be, who they are, and who they're connected to. And I think it has an incredible impact, and I've experienced it myself, and that's why I'm a fan of your work. And it's probably also why you have recently earned the Lifetime Achievement Award. It will be awarded to you for your contribution to improving the image of Mexican Americans and Latinos in the media. Please talk about that.
Well, this is a wonderful group that is the Mexican American Cultural Education Foundation. It's headed by a Dr. Jose Luis Ruiz, who's a Mexicano who came to the U.S. to go to college and then to also, have his profession and his business here. But what he found was that people didn't like Mexicans. He found that we had a very, very bad reputation. I mean, and this is a Mexican coming from Mexico to the U.S., because I really do believe that we're different animals. We're the same in so many different ways, but the experience of a Mexican and a U.S. Latino or U.S. Mexican American are different, because they grow up seeing, the lawyers, the presidents, the movie stars, everybody is Mexican. And here, U.S. Latinos, when I was growing up, we only saw the negative stereotypes. So he saw that and he was appalled, and he decided that he wanted to create an organization that could teach the stories, that could teach the history that has been negated in our history books. And that's when he came up with the Mexican American Cultural Education Foundation. But then, what is the strongest medium of out there that impacts people? And that's film and TV. So he decided to go a step further and create this festival. And this year will be the third annual film festival, and it's going to be April 20th and the 21st. And this year, he is focusing on Latinas, Mexican American Chicanas. This is the year of the Latina Chicana Mexican American filmmaker. And so this year they're honoring 4 Latinas, and one of them is Patricia Regan, who did Miracles from Heaven, and she did La Misma Luna, And the other person is Yvette. What is her last name? She produced Marino. Yvette Marino. She produced what is that? What is that movie that was after Coco? And it was Encanto. It was
Encanto. Yes.
Disney's
Okay.
Encanto. She not only produced it, she's an Academy Award winning producer because that movie got an Oscar. So now that makes her an Academy Award winning producer. So she will be there. Josefina Lopez was getting an award. Eva Longoria is getting an award for the best directing. And Jose Luis, the director, and we've been friends for a while, and we've kind of like talked about all of this, all my experience, and they decided that they wanted to give me an award, and so I'm very honored that I will be receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award in media, and for starting our publication and bringing attention to our talents, to bringing attention to our stories, and to say we matter and we're here. So that happens in April. But it's also a place where you see young filmmakers who did their first film, and filmmakers who have done films, and filmmakers who have a film that's coming out. That's what festivals are all about. It's about showcasing the work of the people that are accepted into the film. So we usually have it at the Harmony Gold in Hollywood, and we have over 100 films, and they're going to be showing. And everyone, if you want to see the young filmmakers of tomorrow, the ones that we're going to be talking about as the next Robert Rodriguez, that's where you find the young filmmakers, and that happens. And so that happens on April 21st. And I'm really honored that he decided that to recognize Latina women, because it's mostly the men, and but lately I got to say that lately, the women are the movers and shakers right now in Hollywood. The Latina women, they are like just really, really killing it as far as producing, as far as embracing, as far as uplifting. So I think that this is a good year to celebrate the Latinas and the Mexican.
Absolutely. Yes. And, during our conversation yesterday, you mentioned that, yes, a lot of your efforts right now exist in Hollywood and Burbank, the filmmaking capital of the world, but you've also set your sights on the Inland Empire. Please talk about that and what has moved you to pursue those efforts.
Well, I grew up in Boyle Heights. I moved to West LA, and when we bought our house, we moved to West Covina, and I just was so used to my area that for the longest time I didn't really pay attention to what was around me. And I am now so grateful to live here. I when I get off the freeway and I'm here, I'm home. It's just a different vibe. And also, what I found as I started exploring and interacting with a lot more organizations and people in the Inland Empire is that I found a community that is so vibrant and eager to explore all of the opportunities. I think we're on the west side, we kind of get a little jaded because been there, done that, and people are, they see so much, they have so much, they've seen celebrities walking around, they go to red carpets, they're invited to screenings. But over at the Inland Empire, I think I see something more, because it's not just about Hollywood, it's about community. It's about helping community rise, whether it's your entrepreneurs, whether it's your services for seniors or your services for kids. I see a lot of Latino politicians, which in the West Side, they can get kind of lost, even though there are several. But I see that a lot in the Inland Empire, and they seem to have a fire in the belly to get things done. And so one of the things that we wanted to do was to bring our production, Veteranos, A Legacy of Valor, to the Empire, because I feel that we did, when we produced it, it was in LA, and people really got to see it, and they loved it. They loved every part of it. Now we want to take it to the Inland Empire, because I see that there's a need for that, and then I also see that people want to help, and we need the help to get it back, because it's a lot more expensive now to produce a play like that than it was back then. So, and yes, I know that they will really appreciate the content, and we also want to keep doing what they did when they produced it before, is to bring the school kids to see this play, because they will be impacted by what they see and how they see it. It's like I said, it's like a musical. So yes, I love the Inland Empire. I'm almost in the Inland Empire. I'm just in West Covina, not quite over the hill, but yes, I love going to Riverside. I love going to Fontana. I have friends, a lot of more friends now there. And yeah, and I also belong to the Hispanic Coalition of Small Businesses, which is run by Frank Montes. And I love what they do. And he and my husband's on it as well. They were talking about how Latinos, well, not Latinos, but actors, producers, directors, we are all small businesses. But we've never really been included in the chambers of commerce as a division, as a group that also have the same issues that small businesses have. Because as an actor or as a talent or producer, we don't have a daily job. We are like gig workers, so that when you go and audition and you get the job, then you work. And you may work, if you're lucky, for 2-3 days, or if you're really lucky, you may work for a month or 2 months, but then you're out of a job. So that's a gig worker. And so there's a lot of things that pertain to us as small businesses as it pertains to all small businesses. So all of this I found at the Inland Empire. So yes,
I love that.
I do love it.
That's terrific. Okay, so we're coming up short on time, but tell us about Latina Fest. This is an event that's coming up that's phenomenal, that I had the pleasure of joining you last year. Please tell us about it.
Okay, so as the trajectory goes, I was a producer, and then I was producing the TV show, and then we said, what a great place to promote our show. That's how Latina Fest started. It started in 2018, and we thought we'd have like 500 people come to our event, and we had like 1,500 people show up the first year. So the concept is, it's a Latina day. It's a day where we celebrate everything Latina. It's a bilingual, bicultural, multi-generational audience, so that you can bring the mother, you can bring your baby, you can bring the son, you can bring anybody. And it's all about uplifting Latinas. And at the heart of Latina Fest, we have it outdoor. We have a lot of vendors, and that's the beat of the heart of Latina Fest. It's these young women and older women who decided they're going to go out there and have their own business, who are entrepreneurs, and from just launching their business to scaling their business. And it's a day to come and celebrate and lift each other up. I call it the Latina Disneyland, because you go in there and you feel appreciated. There's so much to do there. This year we're going to have authors. We're going to have the cast of Lopez versus Lopez. The women we'll call it the Women of Lopez, the actresses. We're going to have authors. We're going to have wealth education. We're going to tape an episode of the Trend Talk, because that's where it all started. We wanted to showcase the Trend Talk, and we wanted to do it at this event, at this space, which is La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. They have an outdoor stage. So we decided to shoot an episode of the Trend Talk in front of everyone. That's how it started. It's grown so much. Last year we had 3,000 people show up. We're hoping this year it's going to be 35 and more. And there's something for everybody. We have a sip and paint. We have like a toss, games. We have a clinic for kids, a sports clinic. There's just so much to do, and we want everybody to come out and enjoy. And maybe some of your listeners can get some free tickets to come and see it.
Yes, please. You're going to give me a code, and anybody who wants tickets to this event, send me a message, because I have the code, and Bel's been generous enough to share them with me. But before we end, I just want to share one of my favorite pieces that I found at the Latina Fest last year, and this is by Mexi Chic Designs, and it's a beautiful rawhide clutch that I wear to every event. If you've seen me around town at the galas, at the awards dinners, you're going to see me holding this. It's my absolute favorite purse. Just amazing, handmade, beautiful artisan items that, when you purchase them, you're supporting a small business and in the community. And it's so inspiring. Thank you so much for investing your time.
That's what you find there. That Latinas, they're the heart, and you're going to find so many beautiful things. And remember, if you want to find out more, go to latinafest.com and you will see what we're talking about, what the festival is about. And you'll see all our vendors. You can actually go on there and look at all our vendors and see what they have. So, yeah, you can shop even before you get there.
Oh, I love it. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Bel, and for your work and creating this path to elevating the story of Latinos all around the world.
Thank you for having us. It was wonderful to be here.
All right, everybody listening, don't forget to look for us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Check us out on scbrtalk.com. This weekend, don't miss the Irish Festival in the city of Upland, March 15th, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., and March 16th, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. in downtown Upland at 305 North 2nd Avenue in Upland, California. Enjoy food, entertainment, live bands, DJ, kids zone, and outdoor axe throwing. Call 877-357-5459 or visit uplandirishfest.com for more information. Don't miss the Empire Strikers match on St. Patrick's Day against the San Diego Sockers with a kickoff at 4:05 p.m. Call 909-457-0252 or visit empirestrikers.com for more information and defend the Empire. Don't miss my interview with Bill Velto, mayor of the city of Upland, who has been a resident of Upland for over 60 years. Bill currently serves as a director for the Inland Empire Utilities Agents, the chairman of the Water Facility Authority, member of the Chino Basin Water Master Board, the chief financial officer for San Antonio Water Company, and is on the Omni board of directors, among additional local and regional boards. Next week, we will have Dr. Eileen Dinkjian, who serves as the Executive Director of Population Health at San Antonio Regional Hospital Randall Lewis Healthy Communities Institute. Eileen leads the development of population health management initiatives and provides leadership and oversight for the HCI and community outreach program. Eileen serves to address the healthcare workers shortage and elements of the educational achievement gaps through HCI programming by creating workforce pipelines with students as early as middle and high school students. You do not want to miss it. We will see you all next week.